Hola a todos, ¿qué tal today? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Day in the Life of Nima. Sorry you guys, that was my notebook. Today I am talking about homeschooling, and this is a very exciting topic for me to talk about because I went through this experience. Although it was very exciting, I catched a lot of backlash, which, I mean, if you try anything new in life, you're probably gonna get it. So just keep doing you, and if it's positive, keep going on that path. So homeschooling is when one parent, if it's a individual parent or both parents in the household, decide to educate their children from their home. And a bunch of people ask me, like, why are you homeschooling? I was like, well, this may not spark in people's mind, but I was like, before you went to like pre-K, kindergarten, who was teaching you? Possibly your parents, or someone else, if your parents had to go to work. So there are many different types of homeschooling, even ways that I don't know, because it's so many that like progress over time and are being created as we evolve into the future. So I have three of them, which is traditional, unschooling, and unit studies. So the first one is traditional. Traditional is when you use a separate textbooks and workbooks for various school subjects. So say for instance, your child is studying English. You would give your child a specific chapter to study on English. Then your child will do practice tests or questions, and you look back over it and check your child's work, see how many they got wrong out of, just say if it's like out of 10 questions, so say your child gets 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 10, or I'm not sure, I'm not there. And you would go back over this with your child, and if your child doesn't understand something, that would be able to show you, of course. And also with the traditional studies, I have like this English book, and they have this parent book for it, so they tell you the answers to the questions. That way you're not completely on your own, and you can check it correctly. So that's really a help. And I'll on my next video talking about homeschooling, I will post the books that I have on my like descriptive box down below. So now I have unschooling. Unschooling is based upon the child's interests. There's no set curriculum for unschooling. Now I haven't done this personally. Example of parents, doing homeschooling. If a child is interested in butterflies or the planets at that specific time frame, that's what you would study until otherwise your child is interested in something else. So at unschooling, way before I became homeschooled, I seen these parents unschooling their children, and their son was interested in nature and trees and stuff. So for that time being, I think they made a schedule like every weekend or every other weekend, maybe to take him camping, and the father would teach him about the different plants and wild animals out there, and he really loved it. And I was like, oh snap, okay, go ahead. I didn't know you can do that before I came homeschool. I didn't know you can do all that. Honestly, I just thought like other people, like, oh, maybe like it's not serious and stuff. And that's because I was around a bunch of negative energy at the time frame. So I learned. Now we have unit studies. Unit studies is when the parent takes a theme or topic and incorporate it with all the other subjects that you're supposed to take with your schooling, whether it be language, arts, history, science, and etc. on forth into that topic. Example, if you're studying about ancient Egypt, then you're trying to find some video, which I guess ties in with also online studies, or you find like a book which ties in also with traditional studying of homeschool. And a bunch of people I've seen, they make maps for their kids with the unit studies. Like one parent made a dough map. Not sure what that is. I'm pretty sure it's really good, but I'm not sure. Another thing that I also want to say about homeschooling is to make sure you research before you actually homeschool, if you're interested in it, or anything new that you want to try. Make sure you research it, because it's so much that you don't know. Even when you learned about a lot about something, you still don't know about it. So it's always good to educate ourselves. Like for instance, my mother, she had to take a class before she homeschooled me, and in the state that I'm from, I'm not sure about other parts of the world, I had to